Hello and welcome to Pulse of Culture. I'm your host, Salia Strymska, and today we're going to explore the world of crime with a touch of Polish culture. Meet Father Mateusz, a Catholic priest turned crime solver and the star of a record-breaking TV series. With 32 seasons and counting, what's behind this unlikely show's lasting success? Our reporter Maciej Jastrzębski visited Father Mateusz on location.
Based on the Italian hit TV series Don Matteo, Father Mateusz has been Polish public broadcaster TVP's roaring success for 16 years straight. Town of Sandomierz chipped into the production, and for good reasons. After all, the series showcases the charm of this picturesque city. Whenever crime disturbs the idyllic landscape, Father Mateusz comes into the picture to unravel the mystery and set things right.
He is concerned with the fate of his parishioners. He has befriended several police officers. All in all, his interest in people translates into a knack for solving the unsolvable.
In other words, he swaps his priest's cassock for a trench coat. But his investigations reach beyond the realm of forensics.
The most characteristic trait of Father Mateusz is that he shows compassion to vulnerable people. When someone commits wrongdoing, Father Mateusz seeks to understand the underlying motive that led the person astray. He holds on to hope that no matter what one has done, they may redeem themselves and start anew.
But for all his wisdom, wit and kindness of heart, the hero is not just a one-man army. His sidekicks include
Inspector Ores Marzejko,
Senior Officer Mieczysław Nocul.
In my role as Sandomierz Police Chief, I have a large group of great subordinates under my command. Reactors, by the way. While solving crimes and other mysteries, we get in the way of the main detective of the series, Father Mateusz.
Whom do I play? A good person, I guess. A Catholic too. After all, I'm friends with the priest, and all things considered, I help the priest. Scratch that. He actually helps me with the investigations.
Gibalski is pure as the driven snow. Although he's usually 2 steps behind his fellow police officers, he wants order to return to Sandomierz. On top of that, he has 2 children and a lovely wife, played by my dear wife. I love you, Elżbieta.
As for Polish audiences, they love the series. To learn why the show has struck a chord with viewers and what's behind the phenomenon of Father Mateusz, we asked the series' director.
Simply put, Father Mateusz is a good man offering a good word to each and every person. He does not shun anyone, even those who have sinned. People love light-hearted crime stories that don't ooze blood and gore.
As the world becomes an ever viler place, the one-line message of the series resounds all the clearer.
Good always prevails.
In Sandomierz and beyond, across all the 420 episodes of the series and very likely many more to come.
Nothing's more convincing and captivating than a real crime story. Here's an example of a chilling murder that has been turned into a gripping podcast. But be warned, some viewers may find the contents disturbing.
A girl brutally murdered by an ex-boyfriend. Details of the story are especially grim. It's been a long time since Poland has seen such a horrific crime.
Given that her nose was shattered, she must have gotten hit with something. Then he probably choked her, then started to dismember her body.
Paulina's killer and former partner, Patrick D., was swiftly sentenced to life in prison for the brutal murder. But the internet remained abuzz with comments and theories, often questioning Patrick's guilt and veering into victim-blaming narratives. That was when a true crime podcaster, Olga Herring, decided to take up the mantle of clearing Paulina's name to internet audiences.
This podcast was intended to be a demystification of all lies about Paulina. It was supposed to tell her story from A to Z.
True crime podcasting, akin to investigative journalism, is sometimes accused of sensationalizing crimes and turning them into profitable content. However, as with Pianka's case, they can actually be a means of getting justice and attention for victims mistreated or forgotten by the public. Caring herself focuses mostly on female victims who are especially vulnerable to domestic violence. No wonder then that it's also women who make up the majority of her listenership.
Around 80% of my audience is women, and I even know the age range. So my listeners are usually adult women over 35, which is actually a group that resembles most of the victims I talk about.
What do these listeners gain from following cases which at first glance might seem too upsetting to enjoy?
People who listen to true crime podcasts are more careful, and they say that a few years back they would agree to meet a stranger from a dating app without telling anyone, and no one would know where they were. Now they know better, and know to do things like to send their location to a friend.
Though seemingly grim, true crime podcasting has a rightful place in the cultural and perhaps even judicial landscape. As long as stories as tragic as that of Paulina Pianka's murder occur, one can only hope that there will also be those who cover them and perhaps help to prevent them from happening again.
Detective novels are booming in Poland, among writers and audiences alike. But what's fueling this obsession? Our reporter Natalia Komarov has conducted an investigation of her own.
A crime wave is sweeping bookstores across Poland. Let's investigate. It seems paradoxical, but in these uncertain times, Poles just love to read about murder.
When it comes to literature, crime is the most popular genre. We always have crime around, amongst the bestsellers and the new releases.
I bought Cold Calculation, not the first book by Michael Tsokos, that I will read. I was raised on Robin Cook's medical thrillers, so I'm quite sentimental about this genre. I like reading crime because of the thrill.
We all live on the run, and in these books we have strong emotions, mysteries. I also notice the most interesting books are the bloodiest.
You know it's a good crime novel when you start reading and you just can't put it down until the final page. And you don't even know how much time has passed since you started. And in the end, even if you thought you knew who's the killer, it turns out you actually didn't.
Agnieszka must get her hands on every new release.
Best part is the mystery. We don't know the answer and we have to find it together with the author. And you can test yourself a bit. Am I capable of solving the mystery or not?
Yola enjoyed crime novels so much, she now runs a Bookstagram account.
I love when the plot is very twisted, dark, and a little bit spicy.
Behind every crime, there must be a motive. Why do we love fiction about evil deeds?
We have here a structure and catharsis. So in our uncertain times, we have crime fiction, which offers our order, right? So we have a mystery, we have clues, we have resolutions.
Poles indeed love crime fiction. Like the crimes that are set in our reality, in our country, in very specific places. We have writers who seem almost assigned to the region, a town.
And we have this crime fiction which reflects who we are. So it shows our fears as Poles, our past, and our need for justice.
Some prominent authors have even become celebrities, especially Remigiusz Mróz and Katarzyna Bonda. So if you want to become Poland's best-selling writer, better turn to crime.
Katarzyna Bonda is the queen of Polish whodunit. The numbers don't lie. 3 million copies sold just in Poland. Our own Karolina Szapland met with the famous writer at her home and managed to uncover some secrets.
At first glance, you might mistake Katarzyna Bonda for a social media star. She's so famous in Poland that even her latest hair color sparks tabloid buzz. But Bonda is far more than just a style icon. She's the undisputed queen of Polish crime fiction, with over 40 novels and 4 TV series under her belt.
My crime novels are written to entertain. The reader should have a great time. I invite them into a cave, a den of evil. I lead them through that tunnel, and then I bring them out into the light, because in every one of my books, there's a happy ending. The culprit is always revealed.
Her novels may be filled with darkness and suspense, but off the page, she's a different person.
She's an incredibly interesting, wise and intelligent person, but also very warm. What she writes and how she writes is nothing like who she is in real life.
After 2 decades of hard work, she's made her literary dreams a reality. And her advice to aspiring crime writers?
Don't be afraid, just do it. Now, as a woman nearing 50, I know with absolute certainty that if you start doing something, you'll figure out along the way whether it's truly for you or not.
Katarzyna Bonda wasn't an overnight success. Now, a leading name in Polish crime fiction, she's paying it forward, helping the next generation of crime writers sharpen their craft.
Success didn't happen overnight. It was neither instant nor grand. Those early years were crucial for me because more experienced people in the industry offered their support. Now I'm giving back, and I intend to keep doing so.
The Polish queen of crime, who has it all.
And now it's time for a review of the latest trends and events in culture. Since we're on the topic of crime, let's start with adolescence. This Netflix show has garnered significant attention not only in the UK, but worldwide. What makes it so timely and captivating? Here in Poland and in many other countries, people are talking about the masculinity crisis, teen violence and misogyny. The show tackles these subjects using nuanced storytelling and convincing acting, so it has managed to spark a much-needed debate about the issues facing our youth today.
Jamie, I want you to listen carefully. What's going on? I'm going to start off with asking you.
Do you know a girl called Katie Leonard? Yeah? Describe each other as friends, then. Is she dead, then?
Why would you ask her?
Definitely with a watch. Now, on a domestic note, let's take a look at a unique event on the Polish culture map. Wrocław is hosting an annual edition of its Kino Mural Festival. Take a look. It is a vibrant celebration of cinema that blends film with urban art. The festival transforms public spaces into open-air galleries and screening venues, inviting people to immerse themselves in the act of storytelling. So mark September 19th in your calendars and see you all in Wrocław. Also for the artists in our audience, there's an open call to submit your work. Applications are open till the end of May. And we're staying in Poland. A pair of Polish teenagers is celebrating after the music and art has successfully landed on the moon. We're covering the story on our website, tvpworld.com. Art and music made by the duo Tony and Ania Koniak has made its way to a very unexpected venue, the moon. It was delivered by a lunar lander as a part of a project with Copernic Space. The siblings submitted a digital recording titled Space Dreaming, composed and performed by 15-year-old Tony. What makes the music created by Tony especially unique is the fact that he plays a pretty obscure instrument called a handpan. It actually even looks like an UFO. That's all from me today. Here's a little sample of what the handpan sounds like.